4 here at Monza. Joining me tonight is Nathan Huppert's in commentary. Welcome, Nathan.
Thank you, Ryan. Hello, all.
Just quickly looking at our grid as they're gridding up. So Ross Rizzo's managed to steal pole position right at their death there from Josh Thomas, followed by Tim Phoeben, Mario Vartanen, Rob Carmichael, Will New, James Glasspool, Brenton West, Luke Swan, Michael Whiting, Jamie Dyke, Scott Stevens. And then second page we got Henry Thomas Kircher, Tom Huggan, James Ferracci, Dale Bread, Amber Griffin, Chris Barnes, Cam Walker, Adam Bryant, Greg Chandler, Justin Cotterill, Martin Silvassi, Greg Coughlin, Matt Morris, Justin Quinn, Adam Queemore, Brad Allen, Brenton West, rounding out the 29 cars on the grid tonight. Special mention to our sponsors, Seal Battery Systems and Sydney Computers. Thanks for everything they do for us here at AMF, and West Performance Sim Race and Design for doing our photos for this series.
Yeah, great supporters of the series and allow us to put on the broadcast here and check out this great bunch of competitors about to get going.
Yeah, I think it should be interesting going down into turn one. Ross Rizzo's got the jump on everybody, so he gets to call the start of the race after the safety car's pulled away. Will he hang up to the back of the safety car, or will he let the safety car go away and try and get a jump start on these guys? It'll be interesting to see what happens there.
Yeah, be keen to see. It's we're at Monza, of course, Temple of Speed. So we thought the Lamborghini might have a bit of an edge in the top end here for the BMW, but in practice, the BMW seemed like a really solid option around here. It was really balanced, so I think it's going to be a really even matchup between the two cars tonight.
Yeah, it's Monza, so the draft is everything. As long as you're still in the draft, you're in with a shot.
Yep, yeah, completely a draft track here. So, and a great one for saving fuel too. If you're tucked in behind a car in front of you, and you can save a bit of fuel. So in the second race tonight, there'll be a pit stop, so there might be a chance to get an undercut on someone. But you can explain the format for the viewers tonight, Ryan.
Yep. So heat 1 is 15-minute race, and they score 4 points for their finishing positions. It's just a quick 15-minute sprint, and then heat 2, or the final, is a 30-minute race. They are limited with fuel. We've fixed these setups with 45 litres of fuel, so they will not make the full 30 minutes. The drivers can pit whenever they want. There is no mandatory requirements for pit, but they won't have enough fuel to get home. I think even with a safety car they won't have enough fuel to get home, so we will see pit stops and pit strategies there. So as we're coming around the bend, it'll be interesting to see when Ross Rizzo decides to put the hammer down.
It's a tight chicane at turn 1 there, so hopefully there's no big pile up, but looks like Ross has made the jump.
Made the jump, and Josh Thomas has kind of defended a little bit there from Tim, but looks like Tim's got a pretty good run there.
Mario Vartanen right on his bumper there.
Oh no, there we go. No, he's managed to. Oh, that's fantastic driving from Josh there to pull that up. He's got a bit of a touch there from Tim Phoeben, and yeah, under brakes there. Josh has managed to pull it up somehow. I don't know how.
Mario just looks like he's doing all right actually compared to Tim Phoeben. Tim Phoeben's connections hasn't been too stable recently, but Mario's right behind him there.
Oh, Josh Thomas deep into brakes there, almost takes out Ross Rizzo into the second lot of chicanes there.
So this is Ross's chance to try and get a bit of a gap here, because we know the tow's really strong. He's got a second ahead of Josh Thomas there, and Josh Thomas running wide, picking up an off-track. We've only got a limited number of off-track incidents that the guys can use tonight, but Josh is working hard to try and keep up with Ross here.
Yeah, and he's got Tim all over him as well, so it'll be interesting to see if Ross can score a bit of a gap. You need over a second in this track to break the tow. At the moment he's still in the tow of Ross Rizzo, or you'll gain some benefit from the tow at least. But as we've seen in the past in this series, the Lamborghini is very, very slippery in a straight line, so it seems to be even with the toe at that point that Rizzo is still maintaining that gap. So Lamborghini holding true and very, very fast in a straight line.
No real incidents so far, which is great to see. And yeah, Ross for sure will be hoping Tim's going to put some pressure on Josh here. And Tim's got a great exit, so Tim's going to have a ripper toe down the straight here. We'll see if he moves wide to try and put a move on. And if they go side by side, that's really going to give Ross an opportunity to get away here. So Tim looks like he's going for the move.
Oh, and he's pulled it off brilliantly too. Knowing how good Josh is under brakes, I think Josh might have let him have that one.
Yeah, I think that was smart. I think that was smart.
Bit of discretion is a better part of Valor there. Live to have another go at it.
That's right. It's not a long race, but you know they want to make sure that Ross doesn't get away. So I think it's probably smart by Josh just to let Tim go through there. And Tim showed some great speed in practice. The BMWs in clear air looked a little bit quicker than the Lambo, so we'll see if Tim can catch up a bit here.
See a bit of dust in the background there. I think it looks like Matt Morris has had a bit of an incident going into the second chicane. We'll go back and have a look at that in a second.
There's some good battles throughout the field at the moment. Some pretty tight racing.
Yeah, it's very, very close. We'll go back and look at the Matt Morris incident. Somebody else spearing off in front of him there. Oh, he's copped a tag from whoever went off. That's just unfortunate being in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Yeah, he's unlucky. You don't want to have your race ended like that.
No, you don't, but unfortunately this is racing and it happens.
A lot of nose to tail throughout the field here. Some guys will be patient, others will be trying to make their way through if they can. Just following Scott Stevens from my Fusion Sim Racing team. Tucked in there at 11th.
All over the back of Henry there, so it'll be interesting to see what kind of run he can get on him.
We'll see how quick the Lamborghini is in the toe.
We're going to go through wide. No, he just likes to stay tucked in. We've got the fishy car of Jamie Dyke all over him too.
The battle's really on now. Though Scott's got a good exit here. He's got the inside line, so yeah, Jamie's just going to tuck in and try and get a little bit more toe up to the corner, but tough corner to overtake someone on this one.
Very tough, and this is a tough corner to make a pass stick to. You've really got to know your brake pedal well going into there, because get it wrong, you can ruin your own race or ruin both of your races. Might go a little bit further back into the pack here. It's pretty heated down in this pack too. You've got Tom Huggan, closely followed by Jake, Amber Griffin and Chris Barnes, so a bit of a tight battle here as well.
Yeah, these guys have all been pretty evenly matched throughout the series so far, so they find themselves battling each other again and getting along at a good clip here. They're just losing the toe from the guys in front a little bit, so I think we might see over the length of even just this 15-minute race, we might see a couple little packs of cars separate.
Yeah, I think it's going to happen, and looking at the gains and losses there, it's pretty much what you'd expect at Monza without some huge crashes. Not much gain, not much lost. It's very much a holding station kind of track.
Looks like Scott Stevens just lost it coming out of the back straight there, unfortunately. He spun around and hit the wall. Looks like it was his own doing.
He's just clipped that policeman and then got loose on the AstroTurf and had a big run into the wall.
Yeah, it's a tricky, Ascari is a tricky set of curves to get right at the best of times, but it is easy to come undone there.
Whilst this has been happening, Tim's managed to catch up to Ross Rizzo and take the lead from him. That pace that he was showing in practice really showing through there.
Yeah, I really think the BMW might have a slight edge in natural speed over the Lamborghini here, so yeah, Ross will have his work cut out for him, and they're battling hard. Tim defending the inside and making the corner there.
Ross isn't going to die wondering, but he's also got Josh Thomas in there. He's quite an aggressive driver and he's not afraid to put a move on, which he has done here into the first Degner.
And that's the risk. If you go side by side through those corners, you really open yourself up to being overtaken from the guy behind as well. So Ross got a good exit here though. He's tucked right in behind Josh.
Scari's always a difficult one to make the pass happen to, especially from the outside where he is. Josh Thomas has positioned himself really well there.
Yep, I think Ross doing the smart thing, just tucking back and hopefully using the Lambo speed down the straight here to get nice and close before the main straight. Or maybe even get a move done earlier.
He looks like he's probably going to get the move done earlier. Car 130's been given a penalty for causing collision on lap 1, turn 2, so into the chicane.
It's Mitchell West who has to do a drive through. Unfortunate for Mitchell.
Rizzo did make the pass stick down through the parabolica there, but he's got Josh Thomas all over him.
Yeah, give him the friendly light flash there as they go down the straight.
Who's got the bigger brake pedal? Ross Rizzo definitely got much more feel in his brake pedal than Josh Thomas.
Yeah, I think again Josh was being nice there and just letting him have the position.
And car 221 has been given a drive-through penalty as well for causing collision on lap 1, and that's Amber Griffin, and that drops her out of that great battle she was in there with Chris Barnes and Jake.
Yeah, unfortunate for Amber. She's going through the pits right now, so that's going to drop her right back near the back of the field. And Amber's shown some really good pace in the last few rounds. It's been really impressive how she's driven and had some good results.
Yeah, she's had some fantastic results. So, it's a penalty. It's a pity when you get a penalty, but it's part of the racing that we do. And I think at the end of the day, whilst these drivers do cop penalties, they're thankful for the live stewards when they're on the other end of the penalties, when they're being taken out by a bit of overexuberant driving.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's one thing I'd be happy to say is a good thing. I mean, it's pretty rare to have good live stewards in a series, and it makes a big difference to the racing and the quality of racing too, because drivers know they do the wrong thing and punt someone, they will get penalised for it straight away. So it makes a big difference.
We've got 2 packs here, well 3 packs of 3 here in the top 9. In this second pack with Mario, Will and Rob is pretty close as well.
Yeah, they're all in each other's toe there, and I think Mario's about 1.8 seconds behind Josh Thomas, so he's definitely lost the toe. These front 3, I think, we're going to see them pull away slowly now. Tim Fabian really maintaining that gap to Ross, so that BMW's certainly got a lot of pace.
I think it's just getting out of the corners of Ross and the Lamborghini, so it's managing to hold him at bay through that parabolica.
Yeah, it feels like a really balanced car through the corner, so you can get the nose of the car into the corner in the BMW, and the throttle does rotate the car, and you can get a pretty good exit. Whereas some feedback we had from some of the Lamborghini drivers was it wasn't quite as great on the exit of corners, so maybe that's where Ross is struggling just a little bit at the moment to try and keep up.
Yeah, and I think we're going to find that with we talked about this here at Daytona last week. As we go along to tracks, the Lamborghini's going to suit at one track, and then the BMW is going to suit at others. But they definitely look a lot closer matched than they were, say, at Nürburgring at the start of the season.
At 10 minutes into the race, we've only got less than 5 minutes to go, so about 3 laps after they cross the line here. So, yeah, I wonder what Josh will be thinking here. Is he just happy to sit behind Ross for the moment and plan on making a move in the last lap or two, I wonder?
I don't know, he might, after he's outing at Daytona, he might just be happy to take the points and think about the long game for the season. Not too sure. Car 748's been given a drive-through penalty for causing collision on lap 2. That's 748.
Jake Foraker there, yeah. He'll have to go through the pits as well by the looks of it. Him getting off the parabolica exit really well again, and these guys continuing to pull away from Mario. They're showing some real pace here. So 1:49.0 from Tim is that's a really good lap time.
Yeah, well, you've got Rizzo and Josh behind him is doing high 48s as well. And then you look at the next pack there, you've got Mario, Will and Rob all in the mid 49. So yeah, definitely a each lap.
Josh Thomas with a blowtorch on Ross Rizzo now, so the pressure's starting to build. Only about 2.5 laps to go. And they won't want to have an accident. You're right about the championship points, Ryan. A bit of damage here or to spin the car off can put you down at least 5 or 6 positions, and just having a damaged car here slows it down so much on the straights as well. So these guys will really be focused on championship points, keeping it clean and just trying to get to the finish in a good position.
Well, yeah, and whilst we do score every finishing position in this series, there is a big bell curve from the leader down. I think we worked out the bell curve to be about a 91% curve. So it's a dramatic drop in points from even first to second, and then the curve kind of levels out after that. So the further you drop down, the further you hurt yourself in the championship. They do have drop rounds in this championship. Yeah, the fact that you're getting scored full points for this 15-minute race, you don't want to drop it for such a short race to be scored full points.
Yeah, Ross and Josh getting good early exits on the power there behind Tim Phoeben, so I think Ross is a bit closer to Tim this time with a good exit, and Josh has got the double toe.
We might see a move from Ross here, and we might see a move from Josh as well.
Yeah, this is where the Lambo comes into its own. Oh no, Josh is holding back.
Will they be able to go too wide through here? Yes.
Aggressive move from Tim Phoeben there. And Ross doesn't want to give up that inside position, but now Josh will have the toe from Tim in front, so Ross has lost a spot.
Yeah, there was a bit of a touch on the exit. Ross kind of left the door open and Josh just kind of muscled his way through. Something that the stewards had talked about prior to the start of this season. We wanted to let them get their elbows out a little bit more in this series compared to the GTE cars. The GTEs are quite fragile. These cars seem to be able to take a little bit more of a push. So we let a little bit more elbows out racing with these guys in this series.
Yeah, they definitely do seem a bit tougher. I remember in the first race at Indianapolis Road Course, I think it was, I was bumping doors with Tim Phoeben and through a few laps there, and the cars held up well. Oh no, Josh giving Tim
Josh is giving
a bit
Tim
of the corner,
touch, and he's trying to give him the position back, and Riz.
Oh no, accidentally caught Ross.
Yeah, that's a real pity, because Josh is slowing down to give Tim the position back, and I think Ross has been caught up with it and being turned.
Yeah, Ross, not very happy on the radio with that at all.
No,
so
he wouldn't be, and I would assume that Josh Thomas will probably get a post-race penalty for that. It looked like it was his fault, so. But anyway, I'm not a steward, so I don't have to look at that one, which is nice.
I'll have to look at the replay for that one, but that's certainly given Josh a pretty handy lead coming into what should be the last lap of the race, I think.
I might just quickly go and have a look at this.
So yeah, Tim's got a little bit of a nudge from Josh. It's Tim Phoeben just clipping Ross as he came back on track.
Yep. It's very unfortunate.
Yeah, I think the stewards are going to have a look at that and work out whether that was an unsafe re-entry or not. But yeah, very unfortunate. That's dropped Ross down a bunch of positions. So like we said before, that's really going to hurt his points.
Yeah, I think the steward's got a lot to look at there, because whilst Josh Thomas was trying to do the right thing, braking on the racing line's quite a dangerous thing to do too as well. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see the steward's view on that.
Yeah, you're right. It nearly looked like he was trying to give that position back to Tim Phoeben, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. You could see he never meant to push Tim off, so he was clearly slowing up, but slowing up on the racing line can be just as dangerous. So.
Yeah, so Tim Phoeben's dropped back to 5th, but Ross now back to 18th position. So big drop for Ross, unfortunately.
Exactly what we're talking about, and the big problem with having this incident in your first race is the starting positions for race 2 are your finishing positions from race 1. So Ross is probably looks like Ross will be starting race 2 all the way back in 18th.
Yeah, and I think he had to go through the same sort of drama last week, didn't he? He dropped right back in the field and ended up coming back to a podium position, wasn't it?
Yeah,
nearly.
fourth,
Yeah,
so.
just off.
Josh Thomas takes the provisional win, pending any post-race incident that the stewards look at. So congratulations to Josh and Mario Vartanian and Will Newell being in the right place at the right time, stealing the podium.
That's exactly right, and yeah, Josh didn't win by much in the end there, so maybe he did sustain a little bit of front end damage, because it looked like Mario and Will were catching him at the end, and Tim Phoeben across the line in fifth, so not too bad for points for Tim there, and most people coming across the line. Some good action throughout the field there. We didn't have too many incidents on the opening lap, which was good. So we had a nice clean race with no safety car there, and some really good battles throughout the field.
Yeah, it's always nice to have a race without safety cars.
Now we'll have a short break, and then we'll grid up for our 30-minute feature race, which will have a pit stop. So there'll definitely be some more strategy in this one.
Yeah, and you'll see the likes of people like Ross Rizzo, who are very, very good at fuel saving. Even though he's going to be thundering through the field, he's very, very good at fuel saving. So I would assume we'll see him have a very, very short stop compared to a lot of other drivers and jump quite a few people in the process.
Yeah, I think Ross will have a bit of the red mist going on inside that helmet of his, and he'll be going flat out to try and make up positions in this next race.
Oh, Ross is pretty good with that sort of stuff. He gets a bit cranky, but he's able to shake it off pretty quickly. And there you go, car 866 and 7978 with your post-race investigation.
Yeah, we expected that one. So I don't know what sort of penalty they'll apply post-race after the results here, but they can apply a time penalty after the race, can't they?
Yes, they can. So they can apply a time penalty, and that'll just move whatever the infraction car down the order in the time penalty. So that can be done post-race. So unfortunately, it doesn't change the starting position. It can't be done that quickly, but it will affect the final points. Just going over, we got 24 degrees ambient temperature today with a 38 track temp, so the track's heated up quite a lot from the initial practice server. I think it was only 32 degrees initially in the track, so the track's definitely warming up. So it'll be interesting this race to see how the guys look after their tyres, actually, because we did see at Daytona they were really chewing their tyres out, so it'll be interesting to see how they go managing their tyres.
Yeah, Daytona not too hard on tyres, and Monza really isn't either. So I think for someone like Ross, he'll just be going flat out. For the guys in front, if they can get a bit of a break, yeah, they might look after the tyres a bit, but I think they'd be more concerned about fuel and positions. So we're going straight into the race session now, so there won't really be a warm-up.
There was a 5-minute warm-up, but the stewards were under instructions to probably just advance that straight away.
Could see cars starting to grid up any second. As we head into race 2, so they'll start in the same position they finished in race 1.
Yep, so Josh Thomas will have the start of the race. He has control of it.
So I'd see if Mario and Will and Rob Carmichael in fourth there can keep up with Josh at the start. We know Josh has got some speed on him, and Tim Phoeben back in fifth, so keep an eye on Tim as well. We know Tim's got pace here, so Tim will be trying to make a few moves early, I think. He's pretty aggressive on the first lap.
Yeah, and I think you also Ross Rizzo down in 18th. He's generally not very an aggressive driver, but I think we might see some early moves from him tonight. The light box coming up, so we're almost ready to go. 30 minutes around the track with more than likely just a fuel stop for the guys. I doubt they're going to be doing anything other than a fuel stop.
Yeah, I can't really see anyone putting tyres on. It'll just be a splash of fuel enough to get to the end and away they go.
Yeah.
The entrance to the pit is it's a little bit tricky. You want to be definitely tucked on the inside of Parabolica when you come in, and you want to nail that pit entry and not lose any time on the entry or the exit of the pits as well.
It's definitely a pit entry where you can lose or gain a lot of time, depending on how brave you are. And unfortunately, if you're too brave, then you could lose a lot of time by getting pinged for speeding your pit lane. So yeah, definitely pit stops here is where people are going to make a lot of positions up, I'd say, or lose. Looks like Scott Stevens has had a problem and jumped to pit lane at the start of the race.
Yeah, it looks like he wasn't able to make the grid, so he'll be starting from the pits. Unfortunately, he would have been starting next to Ross Rizzo.
Yep.
So the safety car will be about to pull away, and Josh Thomas will have control of the field.
Interesting. I see a lot of drivers follow the safety car around the parabolic on. If I was in the lead here, I'd be hanging a lot further back.
Yeah, it's such a long main straight. Yeah, you want to get a really good exit just to get a gap on someone behind you.
Which Josh has done, gotten a great job, and Rob Carmichael's gotten a great jump from that too. I would say there was a bit of teamsmanship there with Josh telling Rob when he was going to jump.
Yeah, definitely a nice corner there for Mario, just staying ahead of Rob and tucking into the draft behind Josh there. Ross Rizzo up 2 positions already. We're going to keep a bit of an eye on Ross's position gains throughout this one, I think.
I reckon he might get a few. And that's no discredit to the rest of the field, but he's proven over the last couple of seasons that he is in great control of the GT car.
Yeah, he's definitely one of the faster drivers, and Josh Thomas looking smooth out in front. Mario putting a bit of pressure onto him in that last chicane, but we'll just be trying to keep up in the toe here. And Josh already weaving down the straight to try and break a bit of the toe.
Yeah, I think that might be a little bit early for that. But typical Monza train formed already.
Yeah, nice clean start by the field though. No big incidents again, which is great to see. We'll see if James Glasspool can keep up. James back in 4th position there, and the Lamborghini for Trick Esports was pretty quick in free practice before, doing a good job in the Lambo. So same car as Ross, so they might have been sharing some tips with each other there, and he's still in the toe there, so he's definitely got a chance to keep up with his lead pack. So if he can keep it smooth, not make mistakes, he can keep up with the lead 3 cars here and get a good position, good finish.
Yeah, look, James has showed some great pace since joining AMF a couple of seasons ago. With his joined Trick Esports just recently managed to gain even more pace, so he's been going from strength to strength since he joined us.
Yeah, it definitely makes a big difference when you can join a team and there's active drivers in it, and you can share data, learn from each other, and that does make a huge difference to your progression as a driver. And there, like you said, we're seeing James improve because of it.
And here's another driver who's improved since joining AMF Racing. It's great to invest. So he's gone from strength to strength too. Driving for West Performance Racing. Wreckfest Wombats, for people that don't know, that's actually a bunch of AMF guys who race on Wreckfest. That's our league for Wreckfest racing, so we have an absolute blast in that.
Yeah, it's a great livery, it stands out.
You're definitely not going to miss that livery.
Yeah, Brenton was quick in practice too, so he's definitely getting the most out of the BMW. Watching Ross here up to 14th position at the moment.
We're just going to jump on board with Rizzo for a lap and watch him chase down these guys. Just see how he goes about it.
Looks like James ahead of him, his teammate, just made a mistake before, so
kind of puts him in a bit of an awkward position.
Does, yeah. James let him go through.
He's going to go around the outside.
Well, I think he was just trying to avoid hitting the back of Greg Chandler there. Greg maybe braked a little bit earlier than Ross would have.
Unfortunately, months of this has been an issue to drive through the course of the start of lap 1.
see how Ross goes down the main straight behind the Beamer and how much time he gains under brake. So you watch one of the top guys braking here compared to maybe a midfield driver, you can see how much time he gains under brake. So be good under brakes in these cars. This makes a huge difference to your lap time.
Yeah, it certainly does. Knowing how these cars work and how to apply the brakes properly is key.
Yeah, you certainly don't want to get into ABS. You want to give it about 75% brake pressure, and that'll give you optimal braking into the braking zone. But as soon as you get into the ABS, the car just certainly doesn't stop as quickly, and it doesn't like to turn under brakes either. So
No,
Ross doing a good job there.
They generally want to go straight ahead once you get that ABS engaged. Great exit there from Osmo 1.
You can see how early Ross gets onto the throttle, how smooth he is on the exit there without getting sideways, so no wheel spin. I don't think he's close enough here unless he wants to really throw it up the inside, but no, he backs off.
No, that's, yeah. I was going to say that's definitely not his style. He was not going to throw it down the inside there, but you'll see you get a great exit here.
He has to, yeah. Greg just got a little bit sideways there. Defending his position, but yeah, if I was Greg here, I'd be letting Ross go through, just tuck in behind him, use the toe.
Yeah, look, sometimes you've got to look at who you're racing against and go, well, as much as we're race car drivers and we think we're great, sometimes you've just got to know that somebody might be a little bit faster and have the presence of mind to tuck in and maybe gain some speed from that person.
That's it, yeah, not get pulled into thinking you're quicker just because you're in the toe. So, oh, here we go, we're going back for the overtake.
He's coming back anyway. But Ross has managed to outbrake him.
Yeah, nice job by Ross. So if he gets a good exit here, he's going to start pulling a bit of a gap.
Yep, he's already pulled up 5 positions. Unfortunately, Will Mills dropped back 5 positions as well, so...
Yeah, Will must have had a bit of an incident there, but... So Ross now up to 12, so he's gained 6 positions. A few other cars, Henry Thomas Kircher up in 6th place, he's gained 6 positions as well, had a good race so far. And Jake Foraker down in 18th, he's gained 7 positions, so a few big movers throughout the field.
We've got a fishy 1-2 at the moment with Josh Thomas followed by Rob Carmichael, so Rob Carmichael showing that good form that he showed late in race 2 at Daytona as well, so good to see him up into a podium position.
That's right, yeah, he did show some pace in the second race. I think he had an incident in the first race, so he had to make his way back through the field and finds himself here in a great position. He's got past Mario and doing a really good job keeping up with Josh Thomas. We know how fast Josh is, so yeah, Rob's doing a fantastic job.
He certainly is. He was not even a 10th off Josh Thomas on the last lap twice, so he's definitely keeping pace with him, and it's good to see. A little bit further back, there's a pretty heated battle going on here for 7th and further back as Henry Thomas comes in to make his mandatory pit stop, or make his pit stop. I should say it's not mandatory, but you're not going to make it otherwise.
Brenton Westside is under attack here. Will Newell trying to make his way back through the field.
Textbook pass into turn 1.
Yep.
Get down the inside and then just keep it hung out to the left as long as you possibly can before turning in.
Yep, great pass. Left enough room, but gave himself the best corner possible. So yeah, really good job by Will there.
Jack Dyke's looking quite racy as well behind Brenton as well. Another driver who had a really good race in race 2 at Daytona as well, so it'll be interesting to see how he goes, but currently running inside the top 10, so a great outing for him. Speaking of inside the top 10, Ross Rizzo is now up into 10th and absolutely flying.
He is flying, yeah. Just looking at our timing data here, he's faster than every other car on track at the moment, so he's really really getting the throttle down here and driving really nice and smooth. He's not making mistakes. He hasn't dropped back anywhere and catching up to Michael Whiting and Jamie Dyke quite quickly here. So he'll be on the rear of these guys soon. And as Ross starts getting up to some of the faster guys in the top of this field, that's when he's going to start thinking, do I push for the overtake, or maybe I do my pit stop a bit early and try and get out into some clear air again.
Try and go for the undercut.
Yeah, that's the sort of thing I'd be thinking about approaching these guys. So I know Michael and Jamie are pretty quick. Now here we go. It's exactly what Ross is doing, coming in to do the pit stop.
I was going to say, looking at the track map right now, probably the best time to do it, because after 26th position there is quite a large gap. There's a lot of open track there, and in clean air Ross will be able to punch out some very good lap times, so it's a very, very smart decision from Ross to pit early.
That's right. I think it should take around about 35 seconds to come in the lane, get a bit of fuel and get out again, so that would drop him back around about where Tom Huggin is in 25th, but he should have a bit of clear track around him, I think.
Yeah, he's just coming down pit lane now. He's stationary for 10 seconds and in pit lane for 40, so looks like we've had a bit of an incident. There's red markers going all across my screen. We've had some crashes, so just going to see if we can have a look and see what happened there. Scott Stevens been involved in the incident.
Oh, couldn't quite get it stopped, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's a real pity.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
He's done the right thing and stopped and let the other guy go. I'm sure he'll get some form of timed penalty, but he's done the right thing. And
I think so. I think there might be a penalty coming, but yeah, he's a gentleman driver, Scott, so he knew he stuffed up there. And back to the front here, there, Josh has got a bit of a gap on second and third. Tim Phoeben here's made his way up from fifth. He's starting to put some real pressure on Rob Carmichael here. We'll be trying to get a really strong exit and get into Rob's toe, and you'll see he seems to have back up into second. Yeah, here we go. Great exit. So he's come out very early there, very early on the straight, so he must have had a really good exit.
And car 140 has been issued a drive-through penalty for collision on lap 5. That's Justin Cotterill. I'm sure the admins took a lot of pleasure in giving Justin a penalty.
Justin, the founder of AMF?
Yes.
So Tim couldn't get the move done on Rob then. Rob did a good job. They braked really well into turn 1.
Rob's always been very, very strong under brakes, so I think Tim's going to have to just almost pressure Rob into making a mistake.
Which would be tough to do. We know how consistent and fast Rob can be, so but then again, Tim's a pretty aggressive driver when he wants to be, so he's not going to die wondering. Tim's going to really push for a move.
He's got a really good run here out of the second Lesmo. Whether or not he's going to have enough of a run to make a move in the Ascari or not.
Hesitated a bit there, but he has gone out.
Yeah, the outside of Ascari is always a horrible place to try and make the pass work.
But I think setting up the overtake for the exit of Ascari there, he's compromised Rob's exit into the first turn there, so that's given Tim a really good exit. If he can stay around the outside here and get a good exit onto the main straight, then we'll see him go again for the overtake into turn 1.
If anything, you might be too close. You might not get a good enough draft.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. You might be better off just getting a little bit more of a run-up. Oh, Rob pitting. Oh, no. Was there contact? I don't think there was contact. I think Rob might have made that mistake, and gee, we've had a big incident.
That is a very big incident. Whether or not they're going to call a safety car or not, I'm not sure.
Unless he can right the car, but it looks like he's either going to...
They've let him tow.
Yeah, I think he might have just hit the escape button all by himself then. It looks like, based on the chatter I'm hearing in the server, that there may have even been a bit of contact. So I think Tim might have given him just the smallest of nudges into the pit entry there.
Be interesting to see what happens there. Knowing Tim's connection too, it could have been a net code as well, which is unfortunate.
Yeah, no, unfortunate for Rob too. He couldn't get going again after that. He's had to take the tow into the pits, and he was going so well up there in second position in the race. But Tim has to keep his head down now and just and keep pushing.
Yeah, see if he can claw back some time to Josh. There's 3.8 second gap in between the two of them.
And there's 7 laps in, so we are about halfway through this race now, 16 and a half minutes into a 30-minute race. So he'll have to pit probably in the next 4 or 5 minutes, we think.
I think they might be able to get touch over 20 minutes. Thinking about the fuel, they should be able to get a little over 20 minutes. So yeah, I would expect by the 20-minute mark, I would expect everybody will have pitted.
And do they have a fast repair in this series?
Yes, we do have a fast repair in this series, so 1 fast repair for the car. So unfortunate for Rob, but he will be able to use a fast repair and get out racing straight away.
Yeah, and I think Tim now coming down the main straight, he'll notice if he doesn't quite get to the same speed or the same revs in 5th gear in the Beamer. So if he's got a little bit of front end damage, then that might prompt a slightly early pit from him as well.
Yeah, I was having a quick look at it then. It didn't look as if there's any damage to the car, so...
It hit 266 down the straight there, and Luke Swan in his tow 266.7, and Josh Thomas ahead of him hit 260, so that doesn't look like it's impacted Tim's top end speed at all.
So that kind of leads me to do believe that it was probably a netco, but again, it's the steward's call on that one. So we'll see what they say to that one.
Tim pushing hard here, just showing some raw pace and pulling away from Luke Swan. Although the gap hasn't changed to Josh Thomas, it's 3.9 seconds to Josh in front of him, so he hasn't eaten up any time in that last lap.
Ross Rizzo already back up into 12th with pit stops still to happen, so he's absolutely hammering along.
Yeah, he's looking good. He's 43 seconds off the lead, and we know that a pit stop takes about 36 seconds. So at the moment, he's going to come out about 7 or 8 seconds behind the leader.
Ross was actually in the pit lane for 40 seconds total, so with slow down and speed up, 43 seconds is very close.
Yeah, if some of the other guys take a little bit longer, yeah, maybe their entries aren't as good, or they have to put in a little bit more fuel. Like you said, Ross is a great fuel saver. He might be right in the mix. But he's definitely lapping quickly. He was fastest car on track last lap, so still doing well.
And Jake up in the 9th position here, having a good battle here with Adam in front of him.
Yeah, he's come back a long way actually. He's made up 16 positions from the start, but he has to pit yet by the looks of it, so he'll still have to hop into the pits. Jake is currently the last of our runners here that hasn't pitted. In the top 10 here.
I was going to say, I think Adam in front of him hasn't pitted as well, so... And Adam pits right now as we're talking.
Yep, so now we're waiting for the top 6 cars to all come into the pits. So that's Josh Thomas down to Amber Griffin.
Scott Forsyth having a solid run tonight as well. Up into 4th position. Still needs to pit, but having a very solid run.
Yeah, he's a driver that we haven't really spoken about tonight, but he had some really solid races the last few rounds and showed some really good speed. Tom Hogan there, yeah, another Mark 1 esports driver.
And Tim Phoeben's been issued a 30-second stop and hold penalty for causing collision into pit lane. So he has been deemed to be at fault for tagging Rob into the pit entry.
That's a big one. That's not just a drive through. He's actually got to stop for 30 seconds. So that's really going to end his night.
The way the stewards have looked at that is they've classified that as a reckless move.
Right.
Not an accidental or a careless. So there's 4 levels of classifications when they look at an incident, and they've got accidental, careless, reckless, or intentional. And intentional actually garners an instant 12-week ban from AMF Racing. but a reckless, so an accidental will give you a drive through, a careless will give you a stop and hold, and a reckless will give you a 30-second stop and hold. So they've hit him with the biggest stick they have.
Pretty severe one, yeah. I mean, yeah, Tim won't be happy with himself, and probably not happy with the decision either, knowing race car drivers. But
look, I don't think any race car driver is happy when race control issue with him a penalty.
No.
But unfortunately, the time is going to suit the penalty. Unfortunately, he did ruin Rob's race, and it's just something he's just going to have to wear on the chin.
Yeah, that's going to drop him way down the field. So that's going to move. Well, Scott Forsyth is currently sitting in second, and Cam Walker in third. Both of these guys still have to pit.
Yeah, so the first of the pitters here is Josh Thomas. He's the effective race leader, and I think at the moment he's about only 8 seconds ahead of Ross Rizzo. So Rizzo's been absolutely flying. Rizzo's sitting in a net 4th position.
4th position, yeah. Now only 7.3 seconds behind Josh Thomas. So he's been gaining time and driving a fantastic race. Had to work hard for it tonight.
He's only 2 seconds behind Will Newell as well.
Yeah, so the podium chance is definitely on here. We've still got 10 minutes of the race remaining. We've still got a third of the race to go. So quite a long time of driving left. You can see Will just in front of him there.
Yeah. The lap times are relatively close. There's not much between the two of them, so it'll be interesting to see if Rizzo can make up that time and make it onto the podium.
The big advantage I find is having the competitor in front of you, so you can see the target. It gives you that extra little bit of momentum, I think, to try and run them down. So we'll keep a bit of an eye on how they go here.
I 100% agree with you. I've always found I'm a much better driver when I'm chasing somebody.
Ross running wide out there. So the other thing is we haven't really talked about incident points, but there are a limited number of off-tracks or incident points you can get in each race before you're issued a drive-through penalty. And I think it's about 15 or 17 in this series. And it looks like most of the guys in the top 5 or 6 here have only used up 2 or 3. So that means that for the last 10 minutes of the race here, drivers like Ross can run a bit wide on a couple of corner exits, just get a bit more speed, use up some more of those incident points, and try and make up some ground on the cars in front.
You just got to be really careful doing that here at Monza, because it's very, very easy to get a slowdown if you cut any of the chicanes just that little bit too much. So it's a very fine line of how much you're going to cut or run wide.
Yeah, there's probably really only 2 corners to make it work, and that's the 2 Lesmos here. So this corner exit we're looking at now, you can run a little bit wide there and carry a bit more speed. And watching Mario here, you can run out a little bit wider than that on the left on that AstroTurf and gain a bit more speed up this straight as well. So they're probably the two key points that I'd be using if I had some incident points up my sleeve.
Well, the closest battle we've got is this inside the top 10. That's Michael Whiting hunting down Breton West.
Yeah, these guys have been driving some really similar lap times, so this will be a great battle to the finish. And Adam Bryant and Cam Walker just behind them there, it looks like, also in a pretty tight battle.
Yeah, Adam Bryant is a new signing for the Pulse Racing team. He's been with the team for a couple of months now. He's been doing really, really strong for us, so we're very happy with that. And then I think just behind Cam is Greg Chandler, a lap down. Adam is Greg Chandler, a lap down.
I would be. Yeah, you're right. I think he's got a bit of a gap back to Cam Walker there, so Adam's in a bit of his own little space. Trying to catch up to the back of Michael Whiting.
But both Brent West and Michael Whiting doing very, very similar lap times here. They're within a tenth of each other, so I think they're going to battle all the way to the end with each other.
Looks like it, Michael not pushing the issue too much there, but
he's just overcooked it.
He's overbraked, so he'll have to let Michael through here. They might even drag him back a little bit closer to Adam Bryant as well.
He seems to be going pretty hard, so you might have cleared it quick enough.
Mustn't have got much of a slowdown penalty from that one.
Whilst this is happening, you've got Mario and Will all over each other, which is just given Ross the chance to catch up to both of them.
Yeah, Ross has just been steadily catching him. He was fastest car on track again by about 3/10 compared to the guys in front of him. So really gaining a lot of time on them that last lap.
So very, very big mover there. Also, special mention to Dale for XCM Cross Continental Motorsport. He's up 17 positions in this race tonight, so he's having a fantastic run.
Huge gain, and yeah, and Amber Griffin just behind him, up 13 positions as well. So she's in 14th place. Had a really solid run as well. I think she was an unfortunate bystander of an incident in race 1 which put her down the field, but she's gained a lot of positions.
Yeah, Michael Whiting's made the pass stick on Brenton West, and now Adam Bryant's catching up to Brenton as well. So hopefully,
looks like Ross down the main straight here. He's got a bit of a run on Will Newell. Looks like he's going to try and get the move done into turn 1, up the inside. Who's braver under brakes? Looks like Ross Rizzo to me.
He certainly is.
He used his march forward.
Will gets a little bit loose on the exit of that chicane too, which stopped the... He actually looked like he was getting a good run back at Ross there, but the rear end just stepped slightly on him and halted his momentum there.
Yeah, I think he probably still can here, unless Ross really makes up some ground to Mario.
Ross really attacking those curbs there.
Yeah, and the BMW behind him attacking them even more. So Will Newell really trying hard to put some pressure on Ross here and really sticking to him through the two Lesmos, and they'll be heading down to Ascari here. Will probably running wide.
Track there.
Absolutely, but still getting a great exit, so he's got a really good run here. Yeah, Ross, good under brakes. I think Mario's going to start feeling the pressure. He just braked a little bit deep into that section there, but Will's doing a great job keeping up with Ross now.
Yeah, as we talked about in the opening, the toe here is so powerful that you really do have to be at least a second a lap faster than the other guys to be able to break that toe.
Yeah, so we just saw Mario there getting on the power a bit earlier than Ross. It seems like the BMW, like we were talking about before, can really get a pretty decent exit, but just looking at this Lamborghini range up on the back of Mario here down the straight. Ross just being patient. There's still this lap and 2 more to go by the looks of it, so he's got a bit of time. He can size up Mario and work out where his best chance is going to be.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what decision he makes there and how hard he really pushes for it. Really attacking that second chicane. Every lap go past, he's up on 2 wheels, really pushing.
And the impressive thing is he's just consistent as well. So I really haven't noticed him mess up that chicane at all. He's just been consistent every single lap, which is what makes him a great driver. And it's we can see that in how many positions he's been able to gain this race. Ross getting off the throttle, yeah, nice and early there. So I wonder if he's a tiny bit light on fuel, although he did put 10 seconds of fuel in, so we'll see how he goes here. I don't think he'd be lifting off to save fuel though. I think he's just waiting for a good opportunity to get up close to Mario on the main straight.
Yeah, I think he's going to put all of his efforts into staying as close as he possibly can through this section here, through the Parabolica, so that he can get a good exit.
Yeah, he's a lot closer now, and he got on the power at a similar time to Mario here. So I think this is, like we were saying, this is probably the perfect distance behind when you're coming onto the straight, just to get maximum momentum to get up the inside. Mario darting to the right there to try and protect the line.
Yeah, it's very, very hard for the BMW to protect the line against the Lambo here. The Lambo truly is quick in a straight line. But Mario, he's got a really good exit out there. I think he actually had to get off the throttle slightly because the Lamborghini was struggling to get on the throttle.
Yeah, the BMW is great over those larger curves, so he's still got a chance here. We know Ross is quick, but you know the draft, gee, the draft just makes so much of a difference here. So Mario's still got a chance to get a move done on Ross if he can keep up with him here.
Great shots there of the cars going through the chicanes.
Yeah, some fantastic vision. You can see how the BMW just glides over those big bumps.
Murray getting a little bit loose there on the exit of the Lesmo 1.
And now's the time to not be too aggressive. You just need to be smooth and consistent, not make mistakes, not let Ross get away.
They're going to go around for one more lap, so does he go for the pass down into turn 1? Does he save it all up for turn 1 and then just hold him at bay for the rest of the lap, or does he try and make it stick through the parabolica?
Yeah, I mean, if it was me, I'd be trying to get the move done here and hold the position for the rest of the lap. So Mario will want to get as close as he can to Ross now.
The dangerous thing for Mario is he's going to have Will Mule right on the 2, who's going to have the benefit of the double toe. So whilst he's going to be looking forward, he's going to need to look at his rear vision mirror too. And
that's right.
Worry for Will Mule.
A strong exit from Mario. This is probably about a similar distance to where Ross was behind Mario in the lap before, and you can see he's just not quite getting the same speed in the toe that Ross was able to get.
Defending that position fantastically.
Yeah, very well.
Brilliant car positioning there to defend the corner, and he's got a brilliant exit out of there. So I think now it'll be Mario defending from Will, barring
that's right.
a Rizzo mistake.
That's when the vision.
We've barely talked about poor old Josh Thomas, who looks like he's going to run away with the win here.
Yeah, well, he's got seven seconds to play with, nearly 8 seconds now, so he can just cruise to the finish. Yeah, Mario's vision will certainly be shifting to the rearview mirror, I think, with Will right behind him, but still doing a good job keeping up with Ross here.
Just a bit of sportsmanship there, he's flashing Rizzo.
Yeah, he's going to use the whole bag of tricks to try and get a move done, trying to distract Ross.
I think you're going to have to get up a little bit earlier to distract Ross with some flashing of lights, although it looks like he's got a fantastic run through.
I've tried the lights on Ross as well, I can tell you it doesn't work. So this is his chance. He needs to get a really good exit here, and I'd be going outside or inside into Parabolica. We really need to put pressure on Ross here if he wants to get the move done.
But also, is this back marker going to come into play here? Mitchell West. Mario's tried to go deep on the inside of the brakes there.
Very deep.
Very squiggly.
A little bit loose on the throttle as well. But great driving from both. I mean, Mario didn't get into the back of Ross there, and he could have. So, yeah, fantastic driving from both.
Yep, great driving.
An exciting finish to the race. A boring race for Josh Thomas. The last half of that race, won it easily in the end. 7.8 seconds ahead of Ross Rizzo. Great comeback from Ross. We expected he'd do well, but to get up to second place on the podium there is a mega effort, and Mario doing a really solid job in third position.
Yeah, Mario did a fantastic job there. A little bit further down the pack, Jamie Dyke, Michael Whiting finishing in 8th, Brenton West in 9th, and Adam Bryan up in 10th position. I think that's one of Adam's best finishes in AMF, so congratulations to him. Scott Forsyth just finishing outside the top 10 there.
Yeah, Scott up 12 positions there, doing well. Cam Walker up 3 positions to 12th is a great result. Amber Griffin up 14 positions, so really solid drive from Amber, well done to her. Jake Foraker in 14th, up 11 positions. And Justin Quinn, he had a good race. The second race last week, I think he had pretty solid results too, but he's up 9 positions into 15th, so that's a great result for Justin.
It's a fantastic result for him.
And Scott Stevens eventually gaining 1 position from his start there, up to 16th. A couple of races with incidents for Scott, unfortunately.
And Tim Phoeben and Rob Carmichael finishing line astern in 18th and 19th.
Yeah, actually, not a bad result for Tim in 18th, given that he had that 30-second stop and hold from the front. So certainly didn't finish at the back of the field. But yeah, a big loss of championship points there for Tim, unfortunately. And Rob Carmichael in 19th. He had to obviously take that tow because he couldn't get back on his wheels in the pit entry. And
Yeah,
Gregory
it's a
Colgan in
real
20th.
pity.
Yeah, pity for Rob. He was having such a strong race and having a really good battle there. And it wasn't big contact, but just because of the pit entry there, he ended up smashing into that pit entry wall.
Results from the feature race. So Josh Thomas for Fishy Motorsports taking out the win. Ross Rizzo for Trick Esports coming in second, and Mario Vartanen for Team Iridium filing out the podium. Just waiting for some of the guys to come in so we can do some post-race interviews. Just hide that.
Nice views of the Fishy Motorsports BMW going down the main straight there as we wait for a couple of our top 3 finishers to appear in our waiting room.
Yeah, they should be in here soon. And joining us now is the winner of the feature race, Josh Thomas. Congratulations on your race tonight, Josh.
Thanks heaps, fellas. How's it going?
Yeah, good, mate. It was, I think in the end, a pretty boring race for you in the feature race there. You were out on your own for the best part of the second half of that race.
Yeah, unfortunately, it would have been a different story, but the incident in the first race kind of put the 2 guys that were real fast a little bit further back, and like I said, that was an incident, and where that put them, I'm sorry for that. But yeah, for my race in that feature race, it was pretty straightforward. Bit of teamwork with Rob, and it worked well.
Yeah, you guys had a great race. Pity for the incident for Rob, but it's racing and these things do happen.
Yeah, correct. You can't. It's a tricky track too. It's the pit, like you kind of weave to break the draft, and it's kind of in line with the pit. And then if someone does go in the pits, you kind of stuffed. But that's racing.
Exactly right. While you're here, is anybody you wanted to thank for your race tonight?
A big thank you to Sydney Computers, Black Wolf Graphics, Relax Marine, and Game Fishing, and lastly Sideways Photography. Yeah, thanks heaps, boys. Thanks for doing the stream tonight. I'll watch it back and it'll be good.
Not a drama, mate. And yeah, congratulations on taking out the feature race.
Thanks, boys. Talk to you soon.
Not a drama. And in third place here we have Mario Vartanen for Team Iridium. Congratulations on taking out third place in the feature race, Mario. Mario, congratulations on taking out third place in the feature race.
Yeah, thank you. It's pretty hard work out there. I had to save quite a bit of fuel at the end because of my fuel calculator, but things happen.
Yeah, we noticed that. You only seemed to stop for 8.6 seconds and most other cars stop for 10 to 12. So wondering about that, but you still managed to keep up a really good pace, and I'm imagining the draft helped with the fuel saving.
Yeah, it did help at the end. I mean, I don't think I could have saved enough if Ross didn't pass, but just disappointed not to get second.
Do you think you might have had the pace to hold him off if you didn't have to save fuel?
Yeah, I was just talking to him before and he had to save a little bit of fuel too, so I guess it worked hand in hand, but we'll see next race how we go.
No worries, mate. Well, congratulations on third in the feature race. Is there anybody you wanted to thank before we let you go?
Yeah, I'd like to thank Simcore, Will for helping me out through the race, and my mum and dad.
No worries, mate. Well, congratulations, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you.
And finally, the biggest mover of race 2 in the feature race, Ross Rizzo, coming in second for Team Trick Esports. Congratulations on the podium, Ross.
It's certainly bittersweet after shenanigans of race 1, and certainly what could have been.
Yeah, unfortunate incident in race 1, but luckily we have 2 races on the race night, so you managed to show off some skills and take, I think, 16 positions in the race in race 2. So congratulations, and massive mover in race 2.
Well, unfortunate is one way to describe that incident. I have other ones that I'm probably not allowed to say.
You do.
It looked like you're all pretty evenly matched. We were a bit worried that the BMW might have sort of outright pace, but it looked like you're really able to extract some pretty decent pace from Lamborghini tonight, and it was a pretty even match.
Oh, the Lambo's got amazing race pace. Outright, I'm really not sure, but I know I think the Beamers are typically good out of the corners, and the Lambo's good in the top end. So both of which help dramatically here. Though I did notice, through Lesmo and the chicanes, that I was surprised the Lambo couldn't pull away. It felt really hooked through those sections, but the Beamer stuck on tight. And, we saw for a majority of tonight how even the cars were, and it was just brilliant racing. I mean, some of the door-to-door stuff was incredible as well. Admittedly, I was getting a bit hot under the collar as well when some of those 0Xs were coming up, and I think Josh even activated the traction control on my car in a straight line as he got underneath my right rear, and I've gone, oh my god, I've never had that happen before. But yeah, that was insane racing. Pleased to cut through the field the way I did in race 2. Actually, that's kind of a lie, because I made most of my positions in the pit lane, so didn't really get to battle too many people other than Mario and Will in the end, and that was a very fun game of chess at 200 kilometers an hour about who's going to try and need to save fuel. Mario said he needs to save 3 liters, which is absolutely enormous. That's a full lap, and don't know how he managed to do that and still manage a podium. So hats off to Mario there. I only had to save 1.5 liters by comparison, and still it was a little bit tight, and pleased to at least get back to second.
Yeah, we heard you. We're watching you on the broadcast near the end there, catching up to Will and Mario, and could hear you lifting off throttle into corners behind Mario, and we were wondering whether you had to save fuel or whether you were just waiting for the right exit out of Ascari or Parabolica, but saving fuel it must have been. But yeah, fantastic racing, and it was great to watch and great to call on the broadcast, and you should be really happy with the podium.
Yeah, well, thank you. Like I said, it's bittersweet, and it'll be interesting to see the post race stewards reports and whatnot, and how that all goes, because I think there was a lot of shenanigans tonight as well in the mid pack as well, and I think Tim even copped the drive through in race 2, which surprised me as well. So a lot of Monza gonna Monza, but amazingly we all survived. We also have lap 1, turn 1 on 2 occasions, which is pretty amazing, I think.
We were impressed too.
Look, Ross, I've been stewarding for a long time, as most people know, and now sitting in the broadcast, it was quite nice to sit at the start of a race and go, I don't have to steward any of this because it's Monza. Monza's one of those tracks that everybody loves, but it does breed incidents, unfortunately. So it was nice to see 2 races go through turn 1, lap 1, which was great to see. Look, you're always going to have incident in Monza. It's that kind of track. If someone spins off in the wrong spot, you've got an angry pack flying through at 200 kilometers an hour, and it's going to happen. Things are going to happen here. So, look, your race 1 was very unfortunate for yourself, but you've shown your class and come through in race 2 and had an absolute cracker of a race in race 2. So, congratulations to that. Is there anybody you'd like to thank while we've got you in here?
First of all, you guys for the series, and to Trick Esports and Trick Custom Fabrications and Pro Sim Gear.
No worries, mate. Well, again, congratulations on the podium, and I'm sure we'll talk to you in the coming weeks.
Thanks very much, guys.
Catch you, mate. And from us here, that's it for this week. Another great race. I'd like to thank our sponsors, Seal Battery Systems and Sydney Computers, for helping us out here in AMF, and West Performance for doing our photos for the GT3 series. And we're looking forward to next round. Where are we next round?
Watkins Glen, fantastic racetrack, and I think for both of the cars, I think we'll see some pretty even competition again, and really looking forward to some more great GT3 action.
Yeah, so Watkins Glen, we're going to run the classic boot layout, so there'll be no bus stops, so we'll get some great passing opportunities into the parabolic or up the top there, into the carousel, and then the boot as well, which always has a chance for some great passing manoeuvres. So looking forward to that one, so we'll see everybody next week there. So from us, it's good night, and thanks for watching.